So here's some stories about the Army that still make you laugh.
Well, the one that was, to me, was kind of comical. It was really not the thing to do in the Army. But that's why it was funny, because it was completely different from what Army behavior is. And the story started out when our company, Fox Company, were in reserve. And we were in reserve. That meant that we weren't right on line. We would be the second for a rest period of a few days. And we were in a small village, and I think we're still in France. And so you have to remember that this Fox Company was made up of teenagers in the early 20s, and they were really young guys. They were probably still in the prank stage. Even our officers were a little bit older than we were, but not much. So what happened over here, they were supposed to have some kind of a meeting or something they needed to tell us. And I can't remember what that was even, because it never really amounted to what it was supposed to be. Well, anyway, they came in, and of course some of the guys like to drink beer, of course, Army guys, and somebody, as soon as you got in the village, they started searching for some wine shop or someplace, and somebody had found a wooden keg of beer, and they carried it over to this building where we were supposed to have a meeting in, and they set it up on something, and they had a spigot on it, and the guys were come by filling their canteen cups and drinking beer from this wooden keg. And I guess we were waiting for whoever was to conduct this meeting. And the building had a small room in it. It probably been used as a meeting place, because it had a few wooden benches in there and a small stage. And it was pretty good size, because our whole company was in there. And I don't know what our company's strength was at about that time, but full strength is 184, and our average strength is about 100. So there probably was close to 100 guys in our company got in there. So it was pretty well attended. And we were sitting there waiting, and the guys were sitting in there drinking beer out of their canteen cups. And then there was a door on the side door on the stage. And all of a sudden here this captain came out of the door and on the stage, and he was dressed in a Class A uniform with his shiny bars and like a dress uniform. And of course all the guys looked, and he said, "What's that? We haven't seen anything like that since we were at Fort Bragg." So, and of course this officer wasn't an infantryman. Otherwise he wouldn't have spoken like he did. And he thought probably everybody should jump to attention when he walked in and all the military courtesy. Well, of course, nobody moved. They just sat there and drank the beer and looked at him. And I'm sure that made him quite angry. So anyway, he started real strict. Like he said, I want your undivided attention. And they went on and on about how important this was. And he hadn't gone to get too far into his speech, or somebody in the back end of the room hollered, "Blow it out, you!" Oh, that really made him angry. He said, "If I hear another remark like that from anybody, it was no end to what he's talking court-martials, insubordination, and oh my gosh." And still he didn't gain too much attention. He actually got off stage and walked up and down, looking at the guy, see if anybody looked guilty or something. So So anyway, got right up there, and boy, we had a stern warning that if anything like that, any remark like that, there was, I don't know what all he's gonna do to us. Anyway, he started his speech again, got started. Somebody in the back called, blood us! Finally, he just gave up. He figured that these guys are beyond any kind of military courtesy. So he said, okay, fellows, if you just please listen to me, he said, and I have this to say to you, and then I'll get it said. And then no one said anything. And then he let him, whatever he had to say. I don't know if many people really listened, but couldn't have been too important, because God can't what it was. Maybe he needed just somebody to talk to, I don't know. Well, anyway, it was so comical, and I think, I never know who said it, because I was about in the middle of the room, and it came from the back. And our officers, our company commander, captain, he's the captain, he was standing back there, and 4 platoon leaders, our platoon leader was back there, he's the first lieutenant, and I thought about it afterwards, and I think it was our platoon leader that said it. He's the first lieutenant. And I thought, he's just the type of guy who would say something like that. And even now sometimes when I think about it, I have to laugh. It was so comical that it could be that insubordinate. It was just unheard of in the Army. Well, I think this captain that was wanting to make that speech learned a good lesson about when he was talking to infantrymen, he better not start holding his rank and act like he was some kind of a big shot, because our officers never did that, Mm-hmm. They never expect to stand at attention and sir and all this. We were just like somebody else doing their job. And so, well, it was surprising to see anybody dressed like that. We were dressed in field uniforms, of course. We weren't really too tidy either. And here comes somebody with a spick and span with shiny bars on his cap and on his shoulder, and you think he must spend, probably all he had to do is polish his bars. I don't know even what his job was. He wasn't infantry, that's for sure. Well, anyway, that was funny. It wasn't the thing to do, but it was funny.